Hi, I'm Jody Bergan-Bennett, founder and director of Beautiful Land Market. I'm here to talk about how I let my passions drive my not-so-traditional career path and how that led to the evolving of Beautiful Land Market. Here's me surrounded by some of the things I'm passionate about: antiques, art, vintage, and our pop-ups in Ames where we feature local curated makers and collectors. I graduated from Iowa and taught inner city school in Chicago and Boston, but here's proof I've been a cyclone ever since birth. I grew up the daughter of an Iowa State track and cross country coach and entrepreneur. Watching my dad grow and build championship teams and programs and a successful business really inspired me. I've always been a contemplative by nature and passionate about the beauty, possibility, and potential in every person. Inner city teaching presented an opportunity to take risks, and little did I know how much I was learning as I was teaching. This is my first class ever. I came back to Ames to raise a family of 4 kids and decided to try something new. I became of the first consultants with a direct sales company in Iowa. I surprised myself, really enjoying helping other women re-engage professionally and then fuel their own dreams. And I became more comfortable being uncomfortable, doing things like giving presentations. I longed, though, for something that really satisfied my creative spirit, and I had a moment of clarity when we went to Denver to help my sister launch her business, the Horseshoe Craft and Flea Market. I was blown away, and this was in Denver, I was blown away seeing 100 makers and collectors come together in, of all places, a funeral home parking lot. It was a fabulous time. There's my son pitching in, and it was the early stages of the indie fair craft movement. I thought, maybe I could do something like this in Ames. There began the vision for Lucky Star Market and eventually Beautiful Land Market, a curated market showcasing local and regional artists, vintage collectors, artisans, creative entrepreneurs, and makers, bringing a fun and unique shopping experience and community experience to Ames. Developing a vision, brand, and all that entailed building a little business came together finally. My daughter even helped with some publicity. I credit my first encourager, mentor, and sponsor who gave us some credibility, Brenda Schwager of JB Knacker. We held our inaugural market in December 2016. We hosted 40 amazing vendors at Prairie Moon Winery. We hoped for hundreds to come, but by a little after noon, we had over 2,000. Here's one of my Iowa State intern volunteers with the clicker counter for proof. Shoppers and vendors were thrilled, and many vendors said it was their best show ever. So we kept rolling, and my family kept pitching in. A community grant allowed us to have a tent at Prairie Moon to bring in 40 more vendors. We added entertainment and food. So we were growing organically, and we started finding more sponsors and partners to fit our growth. I was a one-woman, low-budget, labor-of-love gig, after all, so sponsors made it possible. As we grew, we added new venues in the Ames community. Here's our first time popping up at the Iowa State Research Park. Adding new venue locations meant that we could reach new people, grow our customer base, highlight different areas in Ames, and then collaborate with businesses and sponsors in these areas. But life happens. I had 4 busy kids, and I decided to pause the market in 2016. I paused from wearing all the hats, but sometimes in the pause is where the magic happens, kind of like meditation between the breaths. The pause was inspiration for rebranding and adding my partner, graphic designer and artist Andrew Kingsbury. Having 2 directors meant that Beautiful Land Market could grow bigger and better. We found that there was a growing demand for our curated little markets and pop-ups. The magic was back in the air for our holiday events at Prairie Moon. You can see here the festive atmosphere and the wonderful graphic design. This is Tammy and Adam Wynn of the Red Door Press, antique letterpress printmakers. They were the first vendors I recruited. I found them in the East Village in Des Moines. Their experience at our first market was their first market, and it was so successful it catapulted them from a hobby to a passionate business. They're still coming back to Ames after almost 10 years, and that story embodies our mission. Beautiful Land Market is also about building community and giving back. We have local nonprofits on site at every pop-up. Here's Grace McCunn of Grace's Lemonade Race, supporting Blank Children's Hospital. This was at the Vermeer Applied Technology Hub, our pop-up in 2018. COVID hit and ended events. In rethinking how we could do events safely again, the downtown fairway literally jumped out at me one day when I was running on a Sunday afternoon. After working with their corporate and management team, we launched a series of pop-up Sunday markets there. Fairway has been a wonderful sponsor and partner. Our Fairway sponsorship and our partnership has given small businesses a chance to relaunch post-pandemic. We also have more space outdoors there, which means more opportunities for more vendors and more emerging makers and collectors. Here is a mother and daughter with their hashtag Beautiful Finds. These events are free, family-friendly, and pet-friendly. These images capture the spirit of collaboration and fun of Beautiful Land Market. The relationships built at our events have lasting impacts. And there's my oldest son who came back from college to help. Beautiful Land Market has impacted over 350 unique makers in positive ways. Many turn hobbies into real businesses, and some go on to open their own brick and mortars. We aim to bring something special and unique to Ames, as opposed to people having to leave Ames for rich and meaningful experiences. The following picture I love because it shows the joy and the happiness and delight of what happens when makers and shoppers connect in a really genuine experience. Right now, we are gearing up for our holiday markets in December at Prairie Moon and one in Nevada called our Merry and Bright Market. You can find us on social media at Beautiful Land Market, and we are still accepting vendor applications until Friday. And then now, this is me, again, following my passion, which happens to be a neglected 120-year-old house. It's exciting and humbling, and I'm learning more than I ever could have imagined from talented craftsmen and women who are very generous. I hope to encourage aspiring entrepreneurs to keep creating, follow your passions, take calculated risks, and get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's where the growth really happens.